It's time for.
Wait. You just started with all of us right from the start?
It's all from the.
I swear to God, you ruined everything in the first 5 minutes of every show. I don't know how you do it. You just find a way.
Love it, ladies and gents. Sans here with my co-host Matt, Last Level Comics, NOLA Comics, and Promiscuous Time Traveler.
Let's get it.
We are here, ladies and gents, for another episode of your favorite, our favorite, the favorite wine, cheese, and comics. Please, ladies and gents. Matt, take your perverted popcorn boxes and get out of here.
In my Dune bucket.
So, ladies and gents, y'all know wine, cheese, comics, please. We like to come together to take a sophisticated look at all things comics and the state of all things pop culture. Ladies and gents, welcome to another episode. We have a jam-packed show for you. We got guests, we got news, we got all kinds of the blues. So without further ado, let's just go around the room and see how everybody's been. What are you guys eating, drinking? What's going on? Matt.
I'm loving my Dune bucket. Can't wait till we talk about this thing, and you know how you have to go a whole arm deep to get any kind of popcorn actually out of your Dune
bucket there, man. You got a fist in the bucket.
But I mean, we already ruined my intro in the first 5 minutes. How could the show get any worse? You know, so
I see.
Time live.
What are you eating and drinking, my friend?
Let me turn on this front-facing light because I don't have any front-facing light. All right, so we have a 2007 Monterey County white Riesling that we're going to be enjoying, and I'm going to pair it with some 7-year aged Wisconsin cheddar cheese.
Can I just go on a date with you with the candles that you got going on?
And some beef summer sausage. And some just like these are just crackers. So nothing special in the cracker aspect. But yeah, that's what I got rocking.
I'm a special cracker.
I feel like that's a low-hanging fruit.
Listen, ladies and gents, we hold no bars here on the show. And speaking of holding no bars, the one, the only NOLA Comics. What pray tell are you noshing on this fine evening, good sir?
Well, I'm not eating because I cooked up a bunch of like half-pound bacon cheeseburgers not too long ago and had that for dinner. But I do have my my Carmenere.
Ooh. Tell us a little bit about the Carmenere.
Carmenere is actually a grape that was thought to be completely lost for the longest time. If you're into wine and that sort of thing, in the 1800s, there was a fungal virus that attacked the grapevines in the Bordeaux region of France. And this wine was believed to have been knocked out, but somehow or another it made its way to South America and then slowly but surely is making its way back into the French wine lists. So,
oh, fantastic.
Probably more than you ever wanted to know.
No. That's exactly what this is about. Exactly it's very on brand.
This is what happens when you deal with someone who's run restaurants.
You're drinking Frodo tonight.
Fair enough.
So we're gonna go with some Frodo, which is actually some Cabernet Sauvignon and
Chevigan.
Some Cabernet from Cali. Handcrafted reserve right there. And the bottle itself is just beautiful art. This was given to me as a Christmas present from the lovely missus. So we are going to enjoy some of that. The hobbits are well known amongst the four of us, and they are loved amongst the four of us. So we're going to go with that tonight. Ladies and gents, welcome back.
Until someone steals one signed by 4 actual hobbits. I mean, hey, I don't know how much love you want, but yeah.
When you choose to put up your work of art and it goes for a nice mint coin. You take your coin and you
Look,
shut
I don't
your
want to
mouth.
hear about your coin right now, okay?
So let's get into it tonight. We got so much to talk about, man. And we also have special guests joining us. So I'm going to turn it over to the legend, the promiscuous time traveler, to kind of guide us for these couple segments.
I got a juicy intro too.
Ready?
So, yeah, I'm ready. Go for it. Let's get it. That was a good beat, good bass drop.
I want to see how long I can get you to hold like this.
I was gonna hold it until it went, and I was gonna keep enunciating it. So, yeah, we have one of my favorite, and this is gonna sound kind of weird because we are a podcast, but one of my favorite comic podcasts is the Comic Pals. I've been following them for about a year and a half now, and it's almost like they laid a groundwork of what I think podcasts should be in terms of comics. They have a Discord community, they have merch,
Patreon.
They have a Patreon.
Yep.
It's expansive. They have pals pools where basically people will vote on what comics they are to review and read together and then discuss. Interviews galore. It's very well crafted. There are some flaws, but we'll wait for Sean to come on, and I'll explain.
Oh, you mean that
There
guy?
we go.
Hello. I was loving the intro. I was like, wow, tell me more about me. But then you said that there are flaws, and I'm dying to hear about these flaws. By the way, hi, I'm Sean.
Hi,
What's up, Sean?
It's one of my favorite parts of Comic Pals. And I push for it every time I'm in the chat. I go, please give me another Marco's minute.
Oh my god!
But
okay,
it was the segment that went horribly wrong in the show, and I always get the chat riled up, and we go, come on, Marco's minute, and then we bait Sean into it. Sean gives him another minute, and it gets a little bit better each time.
So I don't agree that it gets better. I think it gets
Oh,
worse.
no.
And also, I know that Marco's minute is fun, so of course it gives me a minute off. Him spending his minute saying whatever garbage, it gives me a minute off to prepare for the next segment. So I'm happy about it. Thanks for having me, by the way.
Absolutely welcome.
Welcome, my brother. Good to have you on.
This is the Comic Pals. Please check them out. I will be spamming links in the chat the entire time. One of the most fantastic, strictly comic-based podcasts. I learn so much just listening to the podcast and being an audience member and being a part of the community through Discord. It's very organized, and immersive. I don't know. I feel like I'm part of something greater, And it's I don't know. It revitalizes because I'm a cynic. I talk trash about everything, and this is a little gleam of hope. So thank you for what you do. I thoroughly am a fan, and I enjoy it.
This feels like it's going to be a documentary on Netflix about some sort of cult, and Kyle's going to be the founding member.
So if you guys click the link in the bottom, it'll take you to, I swear it's not a pyramid scheme, but what I'm going to have you do is actually purchase the product. And you're going to hire other people to purchase the product as well. I'm not going to tell you what the product is. I'm going to keep it kind of vague in terms of what we're providing here. And I'm going to use very vague words as we will use this as an opportunity for growth. You can expand on your horizons and really captivate your yeah, that's about it.
Potential.
Potential, yeah.
You just leave it hang right there.
I need to hang it somewhere, otherwise I'm just rambling the entire time.
Well, I think there's a topic we want to talk about.
I've heard the show before, so I know the rhythm. It's okay. But thank you, PTT, for the kind words. I really appreciate it. And you talked about creating a community and creating a community vibe, and that's something that's always been important to me. When I was a kid, I did not have friends who liked comic books. I was the only person that I knew who liked comic books for a while. So I relied on the internet. I relied on forums, those of us that are old enough to remember forums. I relied on forums and, proto podcasts, basically, to get my fix. And when I got into the position to do a show and, put something together, at the front of my mind was making it something that, that kid that I was who had no one would feel comfortable being in and would feel like he could have a voice in. So that's why I wanted to do it.
That's awesome.
I love it, man.
That is amazing.
But I think, Kyle, you set us up with some news topics to talk about tonight.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You dive in because I want Sean's input on our first news topic because I think it's a hot one right now, especially in the community.
Which one are we starting with?
So we got to start with Scout Comics.
What do you do with your bucket?
What are you doing?
All right, I just want to go ahead and put this out there because this is just the world that I live in.
Mm-hmm.
If you could send me these things before you post them, so that we can avoid things like misspelling the biggest entertainment company on the planet, that would be great.
that was the whole purpose.
Oh, Disney, huh?
I'm happy people actually read it.
Disney.
There was also on the intro to the show, if you look, it was SST.
Yeah, Standard Time.
Standard Time.
When he actually shows up for a show.
That's a nugget that I absolutely love. It bothers me to a core, but it has a history, and I'm all on board.
I'm always here before PTT.
No, you're not. Never.
All right.
Especially when you eat tacos.
So what are we talking about, Scout?
So they're pulling an aftershock on us in a sense of like, and it's a terrible term because I loved Aftershock comics. They had Aftershock ambassadors that would go to every store. They would have ambassador incentive covers where they just passed them out for free. There was a podcast that they had on like releasing like what they're coming up with. It was so immersive, and then it came to, oh wait, they're filing bankruptcy. Oh wait, they're the terms came out and they're not paying their artists. They're not paying their writers. Like it's not just like the printing that they're
but after they sold the product. After they sold the product. So they have to make that clear. It's not like they just they commission these artists. They sold the product and now they're not keeping up to their end.
Oh,
and then Scout Comics come, like basically something airs about Scout Comics and Scout responds and they go, yeah, they were accused of ghosting and not paying their artists and their writers. And then they come out and they said that they're going to do better. They're going to do better. And I'm not sure if that's enough for me as a consumer and a huge fan on Scout Comics. My number one comic that I absolutely love is By the Horns. It is a Scout comic book about unicorns and this badass girl that wants to kill all the unicorns but then works with the unicorns. It immersive storytelling. They have one of my favorite comedy series, Ranger Stranger, which is just satirical comedy is what I base my YouTube channel on, and they hit it to a T. And I'm sad, but also we need to like, what do we do? What do we do as a community? Do we support a company who's not paying their creators, or we have a lot of purchasing power, but I don't think that we use it properly because we'll still go buy Marvel products.
We'll still
Marvel
go buy
books,
CGC
when
is
we
right back on top.
Yeah, but like they'll decrease paper quality, and we're still we'll just complain about it. But
there's now a grumbling voice in the community where for a while these things just happen and a couple people grumbled about it and let it go. That has changed over the last year. Over the last year, it has now been the thing to call out a spade. When something's wrong, you want to bring it to attention. And whether a change happens or doesn't happen, at least we could talk about it and say, hey, this wasn't right. And we could try to get the community members to back not investing in them, not giving them the attention they deserve, or giving them so much attention that we motivate them to fix things.
Absolutely.
Sean, what are your thoughts?
So this is an unfortunate situation, right? Like, you never want to hear about creators not getting paid, getting ghosted, things like that, especially at that level, because these are creators who are working off the thinnest of margins. Like, they're not making, even if Scout pays them, they're not making big bucks, right? So if you're not going to get paid much, you better get paid. You know what I'm saying? It hurts that much more. So it's a really unfortunate situation. And as PTT laid out, we have seen this happen quite a few times, where these pop-up imprints, they come out of the woodwork. We've had so many over the last 5 years, and they promise the world, and generally speaking, they underdeliver. And it's to the detriment of creators ultimately, and people who decide that they're going to work for these companies. Now, as far as like redemption or how we should react as fans, personally, I support creators. So if a Scout creator is doing a book that I'm into, I want to buy that book, despite the fact that Scout sucks. Hey, maybe I'll look for a link to buy that book from the individual creator specifically. Maybe they've got a website, something like that, so that I don't have to support Scout. But ultimately, I don't want Scout's misdeeds to harm the creators even further by people deciding they're not going to support the books.
That's fair. Well, that's a very good point.
If I remember correctly, the article that we're talking about in particular, he actually funded this comic through Kickstarter. So he paid to do all of his own work, and then Scout only wanted it after it had been proven successful, and then put it out there, and still didn't do hardly any of the work for it, and still didn't pay the guy for whatever they promised him. I mean, that's just
scummy.
I mean, look, this industry has been built on the backs of abused creators. Let's not forget, no one knew who Bill Finger was until 70 years after he created one of the top 3 characters of all time. So it's in the DNA of the business.
Who was that character, Nola?
Oh, that was Batman.
I'd say you disrespectful right now.
That was Batman, who Bill Kane took total credit for and completely blocked out Bill Finger from any credit or money or anything, and the guy ended up dying in like a flop house somewhere. So
wow, it sounds very Robert Kirkman, Walking Dead creator type stuff going on there as well. Interesting.
What's your opinion, Sans?
Well, I think we saw a lot of people really wanting to follow their passion, right? We saw Substack, all of the creators go into, I'm going to do my own thing on Substack, going with the indies. At the end of the day, you got to follow your dream. You got to follow your passion. Know that sometimes it's not going to work out. But I do think that companies like Scout need to be held accountable. I agree with what Sean said, though. Don't double down and hurt the creators because of what Scout did. If you have a chance to support them on their own platform, find out what that is, especially if you like their art, if you like what they design, if you like their storytelling. Go ahead and support them somehow, some way, and get the message out that they're not Scout. They're X person who produced, and Scout was the person that messed up.
Got it.
Like Matt said, man, people are being, very vocal these days. We saw CGC had to come out with multiple kind of, announcements to say, hey, we're going to do better. These people are getting arrested. These people are getting investigated.
Yeah, they had to show the lawsuit actually filed. Like, that was a step.
Wow.
Like, physically showing the paperwork that they filed a lawsuit against the people to hold them accountable was a step. It wasn't just like, yeah, we're going to do something, but we're not going to tell you what it is.
Because we've heard that time after time from people. Oh, you know what? We're sorry. That's not going to happen. Yet the community was taken advantage of once again. And this time you heard it week after week, and it got so loud that CGC had to put something out there. And that's what I think needs to continue to happen. And that's where shows like the Comic Pals, Wine and Cheese, Thorough, Brian McClay's shows, all of these shows continue to promote and tell the story. And some people say all publicity is good publicity, but in this instance, we saw that they had to take action, else CBCS was going to step in real quick.
Well, so the printed comic book is at this point, millions of dollars are at play in the printed comic book, whether it's the resale market or the modern market. With that much money at stake, there's always going to be people looking to take advantage in any way that they can. So the question is how transparent does CGC, in this case of what we're talking about, want to become to alleviate any fears that this is just like, okay, we found our fall guys and we're going to blame them, but nothing's really going to change. The issue with CGC will always be transparency in their process until they choose to be transparent.
It's human error.
There's just too much money at stake. People are gonna try and take their cut, even if it's not their cut.
And it's always the person who's at the bottom who gets screwed over. In this case, when
that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is. So CGC's found a couple of fall guys so far down the food chain that won't have any real impact on anything that CGC does, but maybe will placate the community into thinking they're actually, doing something useful, and they're not.
But I like the fact that people now have a platform. People now have places that they can go to speak. The community can top in, because you don't have mainstream news talking about this. You don't have, ESPN talking about comic book creators or what went on at the most recent con. We have become the voice of the community in a sense of talking about our experiences, talking about what we know, researching. I mean, look at the scandal on the theft of the Spider-Man 300 at the con. How many different camera angles did you have? How many different people talking about it? Like, you bring that news to the forefront. You can't ignore it. Now,
except that's exactly what happened. Everyone ignored it. That dude is still selling on Whatnot, still has one of the largest platforms online to sell comic books, and nothing was happened to him. Nothing. He's still doing the same thing he's always done.
He's still doing the same thing that he's always done, but I assure you that he cannot go a show without someone going into that chat and talking about that situation until he bans them. It haunts him with every single thing he does. Like, again, there's not, other than having a smart buyer, you as an individual, you may know someone's dirty deeds, but if they have something you want and you're willing to take that risk to buy it, then I can't stop you. But as an educated buyer, I always say, look into what you're buying. The comic book market is large. There's multiple sellers, and that comic book that you're looking for, that's not the be all end all one book that you're going to need. Take your time, research your sellers.
Count the staples. Like it's literally that simple.
Now, Sean, I forgot to ask, what are you participating in a wine or cheese tonight, good sir?
No, unfortunately, I'm not. I'm actually allergic to cheese and all dairy, so that's not a part of my life.
Fair enough.
If you're allergic to cheese, we should probably move your picture away from Matt's.
He needs to be where I am.
That's why we can't have nice things, man.
No, Matt's cool. I actually wanted to ask you guys, though.
Yeah.
Do you think that the collectability aspect, the grading aspect of, comic books is a positive thing for the industry?
That's a weighted question.
One.
I'll take a stab at it.
Yeah. Stan's literally runs a YouTube auction channel, so he is a very good person to ask.
I'm going to say it is not, because it brings in the element that Nola talked about in terms of you no longer have the people who are only here for the comic, the story, the art. You have people who see investment dollars, opportunity to defraud, opportunity to create wealth, and that takes it in a different lane. So, long short of it, I want to say it's great for everybody, but is it better to have all of the investment quality of the comics? I think you hear a lot of purists say, I don't want my comics encapsulated. I don't want my comics in plastic, because you can't read it. You can't physically hold it. Now, there's positives to it because it prolongs the life of the book, keeps everything, from wear and tear, and it becomes an investment. But like I said, it's a double-edged sword. So I'm going to say no to your question, Sean.
That's it.
And I'm going to challenge you on that. And I'm going to say that's phony baloney, because, coming from where things started grading being forever, think of sports memorabilia, think of trading cards, baseball cards, basketball cards. Think of going back even farther, bottle caps, pogs. All of those have been capsulated, stored, old school trucks, you name it. You're looking at it from one side of the market where people want to read their product. The other side of the market is people that just want to collect, and they like collecting, and they like having things at the highest possible value to say they have it and store it, whether it's a comic book they love that they want to pass down through their family generation, or something they just collect, to bank on the market. I mean, how many people went to sporting events to get that football or that baseball, home run baseball that was hit, and then they turned around and sold it because they had a piece of history? So I don't think it's fair to say that it's not a part of the market or part of the industry, because it 100% is part of the industry. If we weren't striving for the best comic book out there in the highest grade, something that we can hold on to from a piece of history, then just read the books digitally.
But ask the question again, Sean. I think you said whether it was good or bad for the industry, right?
Yeah.
Is it a part of the market in the industry? Absolutely.
It brings more attention to comics.
Okay.
I mean,
that's where I stand.
But is it good or bad, Matt? Good or bad?
It's good, because Marvel almost went under the water. They almost were out of business. Comics for Marvel.
You think CGC saved Marvel, or was it?
I think in everything saved Marvel. CGC saved Marvel. Movies saved Marvel.
Blade.
And movies saved Marvel again.
My man.
So I mean,
so you say good. I mean, respectfully, I think there's greatness to it, but the good, what I see is also the greed, and the part Nola's brought up, that there is an aspect of it that can lead to defraud, that can lead to, when Jay-Z and the others took over CGC, everyone said, oh, this is going to be we didn't see any greatness from CGC after that. Black Rock, all of that. CGC became, we're going to grade cards, we're going to grade video games. It changes everything now. So, but I'll let Nola and PTT weigh in.
The other part of what happened when Jay-Z and his crew came into the picture was that they hired all kinds of people who probably are not qualified to be doing the job that we expect of them. Because they were so far behind, because COVID just completely overwhelmed them. They went on a high. I mean, I'm sure you guys all got emails from them too. We are hiring. We are giving signing bonuses. We'll pay for you to move to Sarasota, for God's sake, And that's where the lack of quality really started to shine. Is when that kind of thing went through. As far as good or bad goes, I mean, I don't know. I'm not one to make judgments on things. I think it's probably good and bad. It's what any individual chooses to make of it. But for me, the honest answer as far as grading is, there's only one reason to grade a book, and that's to resell it for a specific value, so that you don't have to sit there and try and argue with someone. Look, I would have never graded this book if it wasn't for the sake of reselling it. The
What grade
only
is
reason I
that,
graded
Noah?
it so that I could look at someone and go, you know what, this is what this copy is. This is what I need for it.
Can you throw that back
Otherwise I
up?
would have rather had it.
Oh my god.
Dude, wow.
But you see, look at the
Second appearance.
reaction.
I don't know why it's worth so much.
Look at the reaction that it generated, though. That's the only thing I want to point out. Is there's an aspect to that. So go ahead,
Right.
John.
Because my reaction is based in the historical relevance of what he has, and the fact that it's such a high quality is impressive. But I don't actually care how much it's worth, because to me, what is inside of the book, the story, is what matters. If I could tell a story,
Please.
really quick, I'll keep it quick, but it is relevant to the topic. So in 2022 at New York ComicCon, the Comics Pals, we go every year and we do interviews with creators and all that jazz. And one of the things that was happening there it is. One of the things that happened that year that you guys may have actually heard about, considering the kind of show this is Peach Momoko was giving away signatures for her books for $10. $10 signatures for her fans, right? And it went so horribly that she had to leave the con, because these vultures came to her booth with, so many copies of her books, alienating fans. We're talking about store owners.
The Whatnot vultures.
We're talking about Whatnot vulture, all that, yeah. And fans who just would like to have a signature from this artist that they love were unable to do so. And so for me, and I'm sure that for Nola, having that is so significant. And hey, I don't know how much it's worth, but maybe, if you have kids, maybe one day it could be a nice little boon for them, something like that. I don't know, right?
Exactly $12,000.
No, $5 because it's a second appearance.
But Sean, going back to your point, should Peach and New York Comic-Con have put better regulations in on that? Because give a dog a bone, a dog is going to take that whole bone. So, these people who had boxes full of books for Peach to sign took advantage. But going in, it's like when we say stores who don't put limits on when the variant boom was going crazy and the stores would have no limits, and you go to buy that variant and it was sold out in 20 seconds, you would say, well, why didn't they put safeguards? Why didn't they make it one per person? Why didn't they make it you couldn't do this for the first hour? Should Peach and New York Comic-Con have done that in order to safeguard her fans? Because not only was Peach hurt by that, but the general fan who spends money with Peach didn't really hear all the hubbub, just saw she packed up and was like, I can't do this, might have been turned off by that. So it could have been controlled better.
I would love to respond to that by saying, the phrase, this is why we can't have nice things. I feel like they were trying to do something earnest, right? And people took advantage in the example of Peach versus a variant cover at a store. You might actually have, because the limit was 10, so you might actually have 10 different Peach Momoko comics that you would love to have signed as a fan, right?
Absolutely.
But you don't have a need to buy 10 copies of the exact same book other than to sell them, right? So to me, that's the difference. I'm sure Peach will never do this again because she's burned by it. And I'm sure that taught artists a lesson about not being so nice and kind. Notoriously, creators at cons, they don't even want to sign comic books for free a lot of the time because they know what people going up to them to get them signed are doing with them. And that's not right to me. I'm a huge Jonathan Hickman fan. I want something signed by him. I don't want to have that ruined and have to pay all kinds of money just because people want to abuse what he's doing.
Baltimore ComicCon did a really great job this year. They did signatures, but they only did them on prints.
Nice.
Like for certain people, they did them on prints, and you can get as many signatures as you want on prints because prints they don't go as much, and it's a piece of their art. But if you wanted it on a comic book and you knew that CGC was going to or CBCS was there, it was a higher price because of CGC being there, and they had to be there to witness it, sign it, and then go from there. but it cut down on a lot of people getting books signed. And I saw
Well,
a lot more
artists,
people.
a lot of artists now charge you. They ask, "Are you getting this graded?" And they will charge you a different price.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
25,
I got
25
the Steranko autographs. They were $50 unless you had them CGC witnessed, and then they were 65.
Wow,
Interesting.
Artists are picking up to it. They recognize that there is a money value and a money game to it. They recognize that people are not in it always for the heart of this is my book. Nola was a Steranko fan. There's comic shops, there's whatnot people, there's regular Joe's flippers who buy 10 of the same copy and are, like you said, Sean, if you can get 200% on that 10, everybody is going to get into this market to buy that book, as many as they can, and flip it for $200. They pay $20, right? So it is.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Well, I think that this is something that has deeply impacted the comics industry in a negative way. I mean, when you look at the 90s, we understand how burned the industry was when, speculator money was pulled out of the equation.
Mhm.
If let's say it just came out today, Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men #1, right? If you, Sans, for example, go to your local comic shop and buy 10 copies of Ultimate
Sorry,
X-Men.
I already ordered mine on FOC. I got a bunch. Anybody who needs it can pick it up for me.
But let's say someone does that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay, that's wonderful that 10 copies of that book sold. The problem is that those 10 sales don't actually represent 10 individual people that are interested in the book. So what happens to Ultimate X-Men when that person who bought 10 and then the other person who bought 20 and then the one who bought 15, when they're gone and they realize, oh, wait, there's no money in doing this for me. When they're out of it, how long does that book succeed? That hurts the industry to me.
Real quick, Hound, thanks for coming by, man. We appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you again, man. Thanks.
Hound's lovely. Yep. Big part of my community.
PTT, chime in, bro. This is right up your alley because you live for this.
It's literally like my code. So when the way that numbers are generated from comics, it's not even who purchased them from the comic shop. It's how many are purchased by the comic shop.
Yep.
So the Marvel, DC, and any independent creator, they don't care. As long as it's sold by their books. If it sits on a shelf, gets thrown into a back bin somewhere, it doesn't matter.
Yes, and it does. I just have to challenge that because it matters. It matters in the sense that orders for the book will decrease when the speculator isn't buying. Yes. So if issue 1 sells like hotcakes, right? And stores are like, oh my God, this is so hot. We got to get our orders up. But those dollars exit the market. Those stores are stuck holding the bag. They're not going to want to keep ordering that book. That's why we see so many books have a hot #1 and then all of a sudden they're canceled within 6 issues. Sometimes even earlier.
Or what we see is stores go to a pre-order basis where they won't order those books to have on hand for you to just go pick up, page through, look at, and review. They will force you to pre-order to get the 1 in 25, the 1 in 15, the 1 in 50, but you'll have to buy 50 copies. So they're not holding the bag on 50 copies.
Well, the smart stores are now either you're a subscriber in their store and you got it in your pull list, or they're buying 5 copies of something and first come, first served. They're not and they leave it to 1 per customer on the first week. But they're not ordering 100 copies, grabbing every incentives because, like you said, the minute the money is out of the market, you're left with just the pure reader, the pure collector, and none of that speculation money. But I did want to challenge one thing you said, Sean. It is a good thing. I see speculators, flippers as good things in a healthy economy. Supply and demand, right? It's the economics, right? When people are after books, when they want books, it's driving up the interest, it's driving up the collectability of things. But you have to have it in a fair approach, man. You can't have people gouging people, and you can't have people like just running rampant and letting people cut the line and buy 50 copies of something when everyone's trying to get that. If you made it fair where it's limited to 300 and 300 random people got it, by God, that is amazing. It is a high quality, rare book. But if someone has 100 copies of that book and then took it to their platform and sold it for 10 times the price, when you didn't let the average Joe get a chance on it, then you broke the market.
See, I agree with that though. The number gouging. I hate when they say, "Oh, we have 300 of these books," because no one's fact checking that, and I see that get out of hand all the time. They may have printed 300 in the first run, but then when it was a hit, they went and they went back and they printed 200 more. Or they may have said, "Oh, well, we're only going to sell 300," but they printed 500 because Marvel forced them to have a higher allocation number, and they're supposed to burn the other 200 to make a true allocation number. They're not burning them. They're waiting to see how the hot market is, and then they're going and trading it on the secondhand market. So I'm more burned out over the fact of there's no way to truly know the value or number in a book unless it's truly stamped on it. And people get away with murder with the concept of, "Oh, well, this is only one of 300. I don't know if that's true or not.
You're forced to order a minimum of 6 or 3,000, whatever. Who said we're burning those, right? Just like you said. So,
Nola, go ahead.
I was just going to say, who here has ever sold a comic book? Because I have.
Store. So
this guy definitely
hasn't. If at any point you have ever sold a comic book, then you know what? Find your nearest speculator and shake his hand. Because he's the reason your book is worth what it's worth. I mean, regardless, look, there's a core of comic collectors. There is a core of comic nerds. There is a gatekeeper crowd. Those people are not enough. They are simply not enough to keep the industry going. They are simply not enough to keep the print industry alive. The only chance for the print industry at any level, as we can see from Scout Comics, who is failing miserably, is to get as many people buying as many copies as possible. And they do that. They sell, like you said, they sell them to the LCS, and then the LCS just wants to blow through them. But if at any point you ever want to sell a comic book for a value, it's because of the number of people involved in the market.
Which goes back to what Sean was saying. I mean,
yeah.
Something that I don't envy is, based on what we all said, as a comic shop, how do you gauge purchasing a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth issue? Like, the numbers have to go down, right? Especially with indie books. It's like, buy number one. If it takes off, it goes to a second printing. I mean,
it's all by margins. And I know this for a fact. So you have to buy X number of books and sell X number of books to make it profitable.
Yeah.
So literally, it's no longer. I mean, there's a portion of supply and demand, but it's always margin buying. If the margin is higher than the risk that you're going to buy those books, you're going to get more in.
Exactly.
If the risk is higher and the margin's lower, you're going to pass on it, or you're going to wait for that first round and then you're going to buy a secondary.
That's why you see so many number 5s and 6s are super low print count, and then if the book continues to take off, they go back up. Right, the print count goes back up because it has the sustainability. So once they get through that period where they say, okay, this is not just pure speculation, people are reading this, people are loving this, people are buying this, then the print count. So if you get those early issues, you get those 1 in 25s, you get those ratios, those early issues, hold on to them. Kudos to you, because
what about later in the run, Sam?
Yeah, where's Spider-Boy at?
At the end of the run, of course.
Matt, please don't.
At the end of the run, they tend to die down too, but Spider-Boy is still around. So
what I'm saying is, like,
up there with
as like the demand for it drops off, as most series do. Sean even said it's hard for things to get to like an issue 6. What happens to those same ratios at like 6? Like, what happens to the 1 in 25s at issue 6? They're even more rare because comic shops might not even be buying them because they've seen that drop off after issue 1, after issue 2.
Can I rewind? Can I rewind for 1 second? The original question was, do we think that grading was good for comic books? I want to change that. Do we think variants were good for comic books? Because I think variants hurt comic books more than grading, because people didn't want to go for the original base comic book anymore. They went for that
The
one.
A cover is always the most valuable.
Two
What's
of
the
us
most valuable
Matt,
comic? The
two
A cover till this day.
two
You
of
can
us
have
adjusted our
50
seat
copies.
positions, and then we got some head nods. So
So let's talk
Sean,
about it.
what with that question? What are your thoughts on the variant market?
Dude, I have talked so much about variants on the Comics Pal show. I really, really, really despise the endless torrent of variants. I truly do. Like, for me, I'm a cover A guy most of the time. Every now and then you'll catch me on a really cool variant cover or whatever. But again, I'm not like, I buy comics to read them and that's it. So the endless variants, when you've got, I mean, they would go, I don't know how bad it is now, but sometimes
50.
they would go all the way. Yeah, that's insane.
Spider-Man #1 had
No. Last
50.
Ronin
Last Ronin had
55 and
no, it had like 72 copies.
I was going to say the
That
Eternal
doesn't
right
include-
before the movie came out had 73.
Do you include the comic shop ones, the ones that are like exclusive to comic shops?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a variant.
Okay.
And I think what that does, and I think, you know, in conjunction with the collector aspect, speculator aspect, the variant aspect, I think what it does is it reduces something that's intended to be art into another monetary object. It might as well be $1 or X amount of dollars. It might as well represent X amount of dollars. It no longer functions as a piece of art because no one consumes it. It's not
except for when the cover is exceptional, man. When you have, because it's all the same guts, right? But when you get your favorite artist and they do the favorite cover, you want that variant. You know you want that.
To an extent, like to
appreciate it.
Yeah, to appreciate it.
But it's a form of art. Like, just buy the print at that point. If you're that infatuated with the cover.
But like, if you buy, like, if I buy, right, Ultimate X-Men variant, right, but I intend to read the book and that's the only use I have for it, I got that variant because I just really like the variant art. But if you go and you get 10 copies of it to get that variant graded so that you have the, you know, try to get a 9 or greater to sell, I don't think that that's helping anybody but you. And then the person who's purchasing that from you, why do you want a 9 graded one over just anyone? You know, if you're like Nola and it has a significance to you as a human being, then I can sort of understand that. But that's also a very old comic. He
already did Wolverado.
Sean, if you see a variant that you can't live without, are you also picking up the A cover?
Listen,
or do you just buy the variant?
I have a problem, and so I try my best not to double dip, but boy, if I don't get my hands on 2 copies every now and then of the same book, and it's again never to sell, literally just because I need that cover. I just have to have it.
Gotta have the cover, man.
There's a desirability of it. Yeah,
hey, thanks, Lucy, and I appreciate that, bud.
So I'm a little bit older than I think most of y'all. I worked in comic book shops in the late 80s, early 90s when everything was going haywire the first time. Oh, man, and that's what drove me out.
Thank you for your service.
Hold on, let me dye this real quick.
It won't help you.
I keep doing this for Wolverado. I just like randomly go like this.
But that's what drove me out of comics. I didn't want to buy.
Damn, Matt, you're a savage.
He's winding it back.
I told you, you'd be surprised what I could do with my bucket.
So, wow. Anyways, I got out of this because of variant covers and the desire to push everyone into a speculator market where everyone's buying 5, 6, 7, 9 different books or 10 of the same book. And I didn't get back into it until COVID. And then I kind of fell into the same trick. They started doing all that again. They really kicked the variants into overdrive.
You're a sucker for a sexy lady cover. Do not even lie. You will buy every variant with a sexy lady on the cover.
Dave Stephen curve, though. He started the Dave Stephen curve.
You let me know when it's okay for me to talk, Matt. That's 2 shows in a row I've driven him off.
Quit. No.
I love it.
That's 2 shows in a row I've driven him off. How much is he regretting inviting me on to do this shit?
A lot. Right. A lot.
But anyways, just to finish this out before Matt pops a gasket, I think variants are terrible. I think that they're absolutely awful. And the same argument about speculators, it's those variants that keep people in the game. It's those are the eyes that are being drawn into the comic world, and we need those eyes, whether we like them or not, or whether we support them or not. So I hate them personally, but there's a necessity for them because they drive people to buy comic books.
Absolutely. First off, it's not a show without one of us getting booted out at a random moment.
I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back.
Jesus, this is going to be like 3 weeks of IG DMs now trying to convince Matt that this is okay.
No. I would like to actually push us forward and talk about our next news topic, if that's okay by everybody.
Wait, we need Matt back for this. Where is he at?
Oh, the bucket.
Keep an eye out for JB too. He should be popping out.
He's here.
JB's here.
He's here. He's hanging out in the back.
Let's bring him on.
Bring him in.
Are we?
Oh,
Hey!
the voice, the legend. Welcome,
Is
JB.
this thing working? Hello, testing. Can you hear me?
What's up, Disco?
How you doing, everybody?
Loving your
What are we going
background.
on? I'm sitting backstage. I have no idea what the fuck you guys have got me on here. You just said you wanted 20 minutes of my time at 7:30. Gave me no idea what the fuck you're doing
That's
here.
how Nola gets down. He said,
That's
"Have
right.
your ass here, JB."
Hey, I need 20 minutes of your time at 7:30. Be there? All right. What the fuck are we doing here?
Oh, hold on. There you go, Nola.
You guys were
Well,
live this whole time?
Yeah.
You've been
This
live
is-
the whole time?
This is a variety
Been
show.
live since 9:30.
I probably would have saved the F-bombs if I would have known you were live. Sorry about that.
You think that
After
we
hours.
I was trying to set a
fucking
record for
about
how many
F-bombs?
F-bombs I could get off real quick before the show started, and then I find out the show's already started.
Oh man,
Those
Cheers to you. Thanks.
those video graphics you guys do, by the way, those are so funny. You guys are great at that. I love
those
it.
are all me.
That's all Matt.
That's all.
Wait,
me.
whoa! This guy right here. This guy.
Me and my bucket. Just me and my bucket.
Is that the Dune bucket?
Don't start that guy with this bucket, please.
Oh, nice, dude.
He does all those video things with one hand elbow deep inside of it, and he just mashes his keyboard the entire time.
And by the way, elbow deep in that bucket is just enough to get like the very top of the popcorn.
So what
right.
are these questions, my friend?
All right. So this is what I wanted to do. They asked me what I wanted to do to be a part of this, and I said I wanted
What
to
is
do.
this?
Wait, time out. We don't want him to be a part of this anymore. I just want
What
to go
is
on record
this?
because I don't want to be a part of this anymore because the abuse I've gotten.
Oh my god!
I don't want to be a part of it either. Yeah, me too.
Oh, now we lost
Lost
the screen and everything.
I'll be back.
Matt kicked him out and broke his
It's all good.
his.
I got his backup. He sent me all the questions ahead of time, so we'll just roll it.
Are we
All right.
are we gonna do a duo, Matt or Noah?
Yeah, since Sean is here, we'll do this with both y'all. I want to do a little segment on the show where we just kind of shine the light on community members and collectors and have some fun asking questions. If you're familiar with Inside the Actors Studio with James Lipton from a long time ago, he used to do these celebrity interviews, and at the end, he would ask them all the same 10 questions.
Oh, okay.
So I've sort of developed my own 10 sort of pop culture comic book version of the 10 questions.
Nolan's
Got
Lipton.
it.
So this is what we're gonna do. Sean, please feel free to join in. JB, this is your shining moment. Here's
There we go.
question number 1 for the two of you.
Question-
Bum.
Who is your favorite character in pop culture? Comics, movies, in fiction, TV, books.
Favorite character in pop culture.
Whatever it is, comic books, TV, movies.
It was, I'm sorry. I grew up a fan of Wolverine. I love how they portrayed him in the movies. I thought he even had a fitting end. I thought that the actual death was awesome. I've been a huge Wolverine fan my whole life. We'll just go with Wolverine. There you go.
There you go.
Read the comics, watched the movies.
So my answer is actually Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I grew up watching Buffy. I was, like 7 years old when that show
What do you
started.
stand on, Angel?
Angel's the bro. I love Angel. I'm all the way in on Buffy Angel. Fuck Spike. I'm not with that.
is a loser.
Angel and Buffy.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's your follow-up since you chose Buffy. Christy Swanson or Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Go on, Geller.
There is only one Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Agreed. Christy Swanson is where it's at. All right, let's go.
Let's not do that. That's sacrilege.
All right. So question 2. Here's the opposite end of that. Who is your least favorite character?
Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
Nice.
That was simple. I like it.
Wow, man, he was on that quick. My least favorite character in pop culture.
See, and I'll tell you this, JB, I would suck at this game. My brain does not function well with these sort of questions. So
yeah, this is horrible. Least favorite pop culture. I don't even know what his name is, man. But remember in Return of the Jedi, which was one of my favorite movies, when you had Jabba the Hutt, that little squirrely bastard who had that funky laugh. Fuck that dude. He's always bugged me. He bugged me when I was a kid. He bugs me now. I don't know what the hell that guy's name is, but he bugs me. There you go. I don't like him. Fuck him.
Did he just describe me? I don't understand.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about.
If you're
I
going to
just
talk
have
about Kyle, you can at least wait
I
until
have a
he's not around.
squirrely laugh. That's the problem.
All right. Here we go. Number 3.
Really?
If you could have any superpower, what would it be? Other than the ability to, drink beer faster.
Power.
Got my bed.
I would like to be able to manipulate time.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a man after
Time's
my
going
own
way
heart.
too fast. My kids are growing up too fast. I want to rewind it. I want to be able to look at them and go, no.
What we have here is
Back to 5. We starting that all over again. I want to be able to manipulate time.
JB is clearly a man full of regrets.
Fuck yeah, JB. I am all about the time. Let's go.
All right.
For me,
what you got for us, Sean?
I want to be able to read minds. Telekinesis too. Jean Grey's my favorite comics character. I don't know if you're gonna get to that, but I want her powers. I want her powers.
What am I thinking about with this bucket right now?
I'm just scared what your hand is doing in that bucket while it's in your lap.
There's fucking popcorn in here. Get your head out of the gutter.
That's just kind of where my head lives, man. Let's see. All right. Again, flip side. What superpower would you hate to have?
Oh, that's a fun question that I haven't ever gotten that one. A superpower that I would hate to have. You know what? I really don't care to be able to be underwater and breathe underwater and swim and all that. Like Aquaman, Namor. I don't give a damn about that. I'm cool not being in the water.
There you go.
You don't want to be bros with
Nobody likes
dolphins and
Aquaman
sharks.
anymore.
Nah, dude. No, I wasn't made to be in the water, man. No, I don't swim like that. We don't do that.
Oh my God.
What? I will go the exact opposite of my friend here, Sean. I would hate to be able to read people's minds. I don't want to hear anybody else. You could shut the fuck up, all of you. I don't want to hear what's in your mind. All of you bastards.
That's fair. And I'd probably hate it too, by the way, if I actually had it.
I would hate to have that superpower.
you would hear so many things. You'd be like, "Oh, I'm thinking, what was that movie? What guys? What a guy wants, or what women want?" When Mel Gibson kept hearing what all the ladies were saying about it, it was hilarious. So,
Dude,
Yeah, I
curse.
wouldn't want that power.
as it is, I'm a paranoid bastard. I don't need proof that I'm right. All right. Let's see. All right. What would be your secret identity?
My secret identity? A stay-at-home father.
Yeah.
You have no idea how much you can get done in your free time, man.
the way of the house husband.
I want to. I mean, I think this goes perfectly. If I'm able to read minds, I want to be a detective. I'll solve every case. I'll be the top guy in the United States.
All right. So now we know your secret identity. We know your superpower. What would your superhero or villain name be?
That's a good one. I will say, I'm gonna go with Mindbreaker. I can break into your mind and get what I need to get out of it.
no mind is safe.
That's right.
Breaker.
Feels like the start of a Prodigy song. Mindbreaker! Let me guess. Disco.
No, I'm gonna go with I really appreciated this little comic book series, and I feel if I was gonna be named after a comic book hero, it would have to be in the old man vintage. So it would be Old Man Disco. There you go.
Old Man Disco, I like it. Hey kids, get the hell off my lawn!
Damn right. There you go.
All right. So now we've got your character, we've got your name. Who's going to play you in the movie?
Oh. Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh man, I'm getting that Paul Giamatti. Goodness, right
Yo,
there.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one.
That's
too.
good. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go with Michael B. Jordan.
Ooh.
Okay. He's going with Jordan, Michael B. Jordan. There we go.
Similar age, similar look. I'm not too far off.
Just do one of these. Just this. Like, it's over
I
that.
was thinking some
I'm gonna
childish
get my stunt double
Gambino.
to do that.
I was going with some childish Gambino there a little bit.
I've heard that before. That's so funny. I've heard. Yeah.
This is Casey Kasem.
Ah.
So, all right. So now we've done the creative part.
Yeah.
What is the story that got you started collecting? If it's comics, or whatever it is. What got you started collecting?
So the very first comic book that lit my brain up and made me go, "Oh wow, this is something else," is actually Secret Wars, the original one.
Yeah.
I went to Universal Studios. I got the trade, and it had all my favorite characters on the cover. So I was like, why not? And I ended up being blown away by it. I still have that same exact one to this day. I've read it a million times. The cover is actually coming apart. It's taped up. I didn't start like officially reading comics as a weekly reader for a little while after that. But that if it wasn't for Secret Wars, I probably wouldn't be here.
There you go. I like it.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So, JB, what story from like 1937 was it for you?
Yeah, well, my early exposure to comic books was clearly from my father. He had a little stack of comic books. I used to, not read them as a kid, but I'd flip through them, and I remember, I believe it's not that particular book, but it was Avengers 53. I accidentally yanked the centerfold out of it, and he was pissed. He scooped up all his comic books, and I was never allowed to touch his comic books again.
It's the Craggle.
When I became a teenager, I went into the comic book stores in San Francisco because I lived in San Francisco, so you just kind of walk down, hop the bus down into the city, and I was big into Daredevil. During the Frank Miller early run, and that coincided right in that X-Men Claremont run.
Okay.
Right during that 155 range, right when they're getting up into the Brood, in that story arc, and Wolverine's just a badass. And he ends up crossing over into one of the Daredevils. He's on the cover where he's holding the guy up.
Yeah.
That was one of my all-time favorite covers, man. I traced the shit out of that cover numerous times. It never dawned on me that his claws were in the wrong spot. Go ahead and look at that cover. Go pull that cover up. His claws are coming out the bottom of his hands.
They are coming. It does look like they're on the.
Yeah. They're all messed up. But that early Daredevil run, that some Frank Miller Daredevil, and that Claremont X-Men run, I was hooked.
So JB,
and then early 90s, I was in high school, so I kind of got out of comic books in the early 90s, and became an adult and shit.
JB, what are your thoughts on this Daredevil right here?
What crossover is this? Is that a Scotty Young cover?
No, it's from blank cover battles tonight.
This is the winner of tonight's blank cover battle.
I love
Daredevil
it. Oh, someone drew this?
Yeah,
live
in an hour.
In 1 hour.
No way. That is
battle,
fantastic. Baby. That's impressive. See, that's something I regret. And don't say you don't have this. Tell me if you don't have this.
I'm like holding my tongue not to offend people right now.
Oh, well, please offend people.
Remember this, guys? Growing up?
Yeah.
Still couldn't draw for crap, even if I tried.
Still can't draw that. I've given that book to my daughter a few times for her to do eyes and lips and stuff, because it tells you to draw the triangle and how to get the right proportions and stuff.
I'm not no shade.
I was horrible. I never did draw. I do really appreciate some of the fantastic artwork that we have in the community. I have got a wall growing of covers done by community, just regular Joes like you guys. And they're beautiful, and the work is amazing, and you just never underestimate what happens in this community, the talent that there is, the talent that is just sitting here on this panel. You have no idea what some of the people out there can do. And then you meet some of these people, and I've got stuff up there from Barbarian Kung Fu, and I just name all kinds of people. There's a lot of cool artwork up there.
There's so many artists in the community that like you wouldn't even like think of. Like Someday Da Vinci is an artist.
The evolution of some of their artwork, where if you saw it 2 years ago to where you see it now, you can see the progression.
I was gonna say, just look at Soul Twice. Soul Twice.
Soul Twice is absolutely up there. I think he's up there twice, actually.
Tricky Trapster.
Tricky Trapster's up there.
Yep.
I got
him. Battle first champion.
Roscoe was on. Like, there's so many K-pop draws too. K-pop junkie. Like, literally, the people that are in the chat, they're like into it. Like the community is so immersive.
When we talk about collecting and how we've changed, right? When you first get back in, when I first got back in, I buy everything. It don't matter whatever. I buy it all. And then now it's like I selectively buy only a few things, and I cherish that stuff, because that stuff is unique. It's one of a kind. When I go to the con now, it's not about buying exclusives. If I can get one awesome sketch in my book, in my sketchbook, where's my sketchbook? If I can add a sketch to my sketchbook, that is
wait
what
a second.
I'm
You go to artists and get them to add pages to it?
Yeah.
Well, I bought one of these, and then every time I go to a con, I only want to try. These are expensive, so you want to try and get one.
Yeah. That is badass.
Plus, you want to leave it with them for a day. You may have to leave it with them for a day to get what you're looking for.
Dope.
Oh
no! I'm on board with that.
I love this.
So this is where my collecting is going. It's going. I want to see something unique, and then I asked them to sign it. By the way, everybody that worked in the book has signed it.
It's individualistic. Wow, that was a
look at this one.
Mouthful.
Oh, that's so.
Oh,
cool.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
But yeah,
this is unique. It's art, and that's what originally drew me back in was the art, the variant covers, Nola. You know,
Mhm.
the art is what brings you back. And now I'm just into this
Oh,
kind of
that's
stuff.
badass.
Disco, hear me out. That's the evolution of the comic book collector.
That
get
is the
immersed-
evolution of the collector.
you
I
get
agree with you
immersed.
100%.
You're immersed in it.
100%.
You
And then it's
overindulge,
next. You go from I want Silver Age to now it's like I
Yep.
want some Golden Age. I
And then
want
you
some
narrow it
Golden
down.
Age in my collection.
You
And
narrow
then
down
it's
what you
even
like.
more. I want some original artwork.
Mhm.
It's all about original artwork.
In that
and
OA.
older stuff. I'm an old man.
Absolutely.
Old man disco. That's what I said.
Nola, what question are we at?
All right, we are at number 9. These last two won't take very long. Number 9. What is the piece that you are missing from your collection that you would take, that you really want?
The piece.
Could be a book, could be an original art piece. What is it that you're missing?
Man, I'm a spoiled man. I've pretty much, kind of bought everything I want. But if there are books that I'm missing, truly everyone knows I'm hunting ASM 129. I done missed it, all right? I've been there's certain books I've been hunting. But if it comes to an actual piece, something that's there's something that's evaded me for a while. You guys are gonna laugh, man. This is stupid. A very nice, and I haven't found it yet. A very nice statue of the Enterprise.
Ooh.
Huh.
I need because it was such an important part of my youth. My dad was such a big fan of both Star Wars and Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
The Enterprise. I need one of those in my life. I still need to find me an Enterprise.
Zapped.
Love it. Sean, what are you missing?
So I'm not anywhere close to the level of collector that JB Disco is, which the collection behind you is incredible, by the way.
Thanks, man.
But I don't have very much, and so I've got like a Jean Grey statue that I really love. I'm not even gonna mess with that. I don't want that to fall. But I've got some small things. I've got like Jean Grey print, CM Punk print, Mega Man X print. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that. The Dark Phoenix. I don't have anything collectible Buffy. So if I could get, an artist that I revere to do something like that for me, to do a piece of Buffy, that I would really love.
Ooh, Buffy, nice.
Yeah, you need a prison Buffy.
Who would the artist be?
Oh boy, Jenny Frison.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Jenny Frison would do a great Buffy, I think.
I think Carla Cohen could do a nice one.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
Adam Hughes.
Okay.
Adam Hughes.
Okay.
That's big money.
Hahn.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. You guys are gonna get me spending money. I go to New York ComicCon. I try to lay low, man. I don't buy original art. I might have to this year.
All right, last question. If you could meet any creator, living or dead, who would it be and what would you say to him?
So I'm going to say something that I'm genuinely very proud to be able to say. I have met I can't think of a creator that I've wanted to meet that I haven't met. I've met everybody. Yeah. Just through the Comics Pals and doing what we do, I've been able to build connections. My holy grail creator to meet would have been Grant Morrison, but I actually already did that. I was lucky enough to meet them, and I got to tell them how important they are to me. And Grant's Batman run changed my life. And so I was able to tell them that. And that was one of the proudest moments that I cherish in comics. So that would be my answer. But I've already done it.
His Doom Patrol run is the same thing for me. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, JB. 20 minutes are almost up. Who's
George
it going to be?
Lucas.
George Lucas.
And I just straight up say thank you, man. Thank you. It's just so much. I can't even say enough. Thank you.
Shoot, I didn't even think about outside of comics. Geez. Outside of comics, I would say Dave Chappelle.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. All right. Well, gentlemen, that's my 10 questions. I appreciate both of y'all playing along.
Absolutely.
Can I add one more question? So it'll transition to our next topic.
Ooh, interesting.
Sure.
All right. Nola, are you okay with that?
I don't know. It's Matt.
I know. I was about to say Nola's very
Oh,
uncomfortable
goodness.
with this Matt question.
You know what?
Oh,
I'm gonna trust you, Matthew.
Hey, Sean, it was nice meeting you, by the way. If you end up jumping off after this, I appreciate you coming on. That was awesome.
Likewise, thank you so much. No, you guys are fantastic. I love it.
So
All right, Matt. What's your question?
this past week we saw Dune Part II come out, and the community has been abuzz. What are your top 3 sequel films? Third, second, and first off of this list. This is what they say are the 12 greatest sequels of all time. I agree with some of them. I disagree with some of them. But if you were to tell me your top 3, third, second, first for your best sequels of all time, what would they be?
I'm ready right now.
Hit me
Go
with
for
it.
it.
So 3 is Captain America: Winter Soldier. It's an incredible movie. It's probably the best MCU movie, if not top 3.
Number 1.
Then I go The Dark Knight, number 2. The Dark Knight is, I mean, that is the moment where the game changed for comic book movies. It proved that you can take them seriously and that people will support it. Phenomenal acting. It's a great movie. But to me, to this day, nothing has been made that is better than Terminator 2.
Terminator 2.
That is the quintessential sequel. I don't think that and Terminator 1 is an amazing film. Somehow Terminator 2 managed to raise the bar, not just within its own franchise, but across the entire cinema. It changed the game visually, special effects wise. It's just an unbelievable film. That is my favorite movie.
Love it.
Wow. Good stuff.
All right, JB.
If we're going from this list,
No, you don't have to. This is the list that we had though. That they say these are the best.
I've already
12.
I've picked 3 off the list. So now we're going on this.
All right.
Keep it
Go,
to
hit
the
me
list.
with it.
That's fine.
It completely, actually, you can see how old I am compared to my counterpart here. At number 3, The Godfather Part 2 has got to be one of the best sequels ever. It's better than the first Godfather. Come on, man.
Definitely.
Godfather Part 2 is clearly better than Godfather Part 1. Anybody who's watched it knows. Coming in number 2 on my best sequels ever, Aliens changed my life, man.
Thank you.
Was
Thank
fucking
you.
awesome. Ripley kicked ass. Those fucking Marines were awesome. The battle scenes in there, they were laying it down. That was one of my favorite freaking movies. It was badass. Aliens, but nothing for me is better than The Empire Strikes Back. By far, my most favorite second movie ever. I mean, so much happens in this film. Just the Millennium Falcon becomes legendary in this film. I love Empire Strikes Back in Star Wars. Thank you very much.
Cool. I can get behind that.
Well, I just want to say thank you both for joining us tonight. It's been a blast.
Excellent.
You don't have to
Appreciate
leave
you,
by any
gents.
means. You're welcome to stay and participate in the conversation, but we're going to be shifting over to some movies, TV. We got Avatar to talk about. We got Walking Dead coming back. We have Dune 2. So we're going to talk, hopefully no spoilers if anyone didn't say it. So we're going to try to keep that at a minimum.
Can I say one thing before Sean heads out?
You can say whatever you want.
The Comic Pals is the second best comic podcast out there, and we are number 3.
So who's number 1?
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say.
That's some flat out bullshit, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm about to say you can't just go like
That's
hold
some
on.
flat out bullshit.
We are number 3.
I almost spit out my wine. God damn.
Comic Pals is number 2, and number 1 is unknown.
Well,
Sean,
look,
I appreciate you coming.
Thank you. I'll take number 2. I appreciate that. You guys are fantastic. This was so much fun. I love the vibe you guys have here, and I appreciate the fact that nothing is off the table. Just such a fun group. Hopefully, I can come back on and hang out with you guys again. And I did want to quickly mention the Comics Pals. We are a podcast. We have a YouTube channel, the Comics Pals, youtube.com/the Comics Pals. We are live every single Thursday at 6 p.m. We review comics that day. That's our show, Pals Pulls.
It's Eastern?
Yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. And then Saturdays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern, we are live. We talk about the news, the happenings in the industry, and things of that nature. We've got a Discord channel you can come hang out with us on. We strive to be a comic book community that is tackling what is happening in the industry from a realistic perspective with a positive bend. But we also like to have a great time, just like you guys do. So in that way, we're kindred spirits, and I really, really appreciate being on here with you all.
Hey, Sean, can I ask you an honest question?
Please.
Do you ever have opening for like a fifth pal? Because I'm
Sean,
What are you
listen,
talking
we deal with unprofessional people all the time in this industry.
Yes.
Leave it to Matt to apply for a job while he's
the
No,
literal
no, no,
abuse that I get on this show, Sean. Like, I would love to talk about real life topics.
No.
again, Sean.
This has
thank
been
you
a
so much
ploy.
for
This
being
has
here.
all
You're
been a
such a
ploy.
professional.
Yeah.
No. This has been a ploy for me to get on the Comics Pals. That's literally all that it's been about.
Sean, again, thank you. Me and Nola,
He's
we
out.
want to say you have been a shining star and such a gentleman tonight. By all means, you're always welcome to come back on the show. Without Matt and without Kyle, if they do end up on your show, they're breach of contract. Just so you know, you would have to do a buyout plan to get them.
Hey, can I show you what I'm good at?
Listen,
His ass.
if you want to do that for me, we can talk because I need someone to do those
He's
things.
expensive, Sean. He charges $3.99.
Oh well, then we can talk.
I'm
Then we might be able to
I'm
talk.
never gonna be on the Comics Pals. This is fucking bullshit. This is horse
If you
shit.
take PTT, you got to take his mom with him.
He has fucking talent. That's
He's
the
awesome.
problem.
Too much. Four of us is a crowd already. We can't keep things together. Four is too many. Matt can work behind the scenes though, because Matt has talent.
I'm sad.
I'm behind
Oh,
the
my
scenes and
God.
play cover
Thank you
battles
again
and
for
behind the
coming
scenes
on,
here.
man.
As it is, Marco only gets a minute, so
Give
I've
me
also
30.
got
If he's
to
lucky.
bow
If he's
out.
lucky.
not a lot of room for you guys.
Sean, I want 15 seconds. That's all I want. 15
We can
seconds.
talk about it. All right, guys. Take
Thank
care.
you,
Take it
Sean.
easy, brother.
Thank
It's
you,
been a
Sean.
blast, man.
Be good.
Gentlemen, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It was fun.
You survived the
And-
hot seat.
Yeah, that was what it's called. It's called the hot seat. That was awesome. Thanks. I appreciate you having me on.
Maybe, probably
I'd
not.
love to get a cut of that. I may have to download that cut and re-upload it on my channel because
Oh, there you go, brother. Let's do it. Get it on.
anyway,
JP.
as always, don't forget.
Yes.
We had a good
Covers.
time.
Where you gonna be next,
Aw,
JB?
Come on, shameless plug.
Where am I going to be
JP.
next?
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Thursday, so I'll be on the Lords of the Long Box at
There you
6
go.
p.m. Pacific Standard Time, going over the Shakers list, which is actually, if you watch any of these lists, the top, these top 10 lists, the Shakers list is cool, man, because we call it the Ofer list, because nobody has any of these books. The writers find the most crazy, obscure, you had to mail in a coupon from underwear to get this fucking comic book, and it just sold for $1,200. They find the weirdest shit, and we'll be on the Shakers list on the Lords of the Long Box channel, and then follow me on Instagram. I got a YouTube channel. I occasionally throw up some little shorts and shit.
Hey, when
TiVo,
you get
Marty,
to,
and
when you
you
get to
always
Johnny
do the
Quest
thing.
5 on your Shakers list, I know the guy that was doing the shaking on that one.
Oh, that was last week. We did Johnny Quest 5. That was
Was it on last week?
Yeah, it was on last
Yeah,
week.
it's been like 2 weeks.
You were on that, Stevens. I'm glad I was listening because I bought a bunch of that shit early.
Yeah.
And I like to think that I led a lot of people in the right
You
direction.
did.
with that.
You led
They
me
chose
in
to
that
listen.
direction.
This
Anyway,
goddamn
my
guy
wife
was showing me
I got
new
you.
Stevens every day.
I got you. I got to go.
Take
All
it
right.
easy, my brother.
JB, thank you, brother.
I love that
Please,
art
I
book,
did it.
man. Can you start posting some of your art that's in
Yeah,
your
I
book?
should. I'll do that when we
Dude,
get
yeah.
close
That's
to
pretty
the cons
badass,
that they
bro.
happened at. Yeah, and I always suggest anybody, and I got the smaller one. You know why I got the smaller one?
Cheaper.
is because they're cheaper. Because when you get a bigger book, they charge you more.
Yep.
But if you're asking,
You get a
"Oh,
bunch of little
book."
heads on one page.
Yeah, the little book. How much of the little headshots? And then I just try and get one each time, and that's why I tell somebody, that's cool. Is I posted a video of this one. Perillo did this one. Perillo did this one live, and obviously he did it live, but he let me record it.
That's awesome.
So I actually uploaded him doing that.
Like, no joke, that is such a fucking cool concept. Like,
isn't that a great idea?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, fellas. I know.
Appreciate you. Take it easy.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
The crowd goes wild.
By the way, Erod does something like that, except he's got like a bigger, I don't know what size it is, and it's got this big Wolverine at the center that someone drew, and then he just has each artist add somebody else to that same kind of concept.
The free comic book day, what's it called? Where you have artists do a panel, and then you add onto it like other artists doing the panels, and it's literally a thing to promote free comic book day.
Yeah, that's cool.
Fuck, I forgot the name of it though. But yeah, it's in that realm of concepts.
I decided to buck the hat trend, Southern. Everybody wanted to go hats tonight. I said F that.
Oh shit. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck, I'm not riding a train with Matt.
Wait, I like Matt. Hold on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We got to give Matt some love, man. Matt,
fuck all of you.
Matt has worked the hardest. We have put Matt to the test this past week.
Hashtag hats for Matt.
Yeah, we were gonna do wine and cheese, and then I was like, oh, by the way, we're gonna do blank cover battles. Oh, by the way, our one of our judges may not show up. Oh, by the way, one of our artists who actually won may not come on tonight.
And I felt like an ass. I'm like, yo, you need to pull your shit together and get on the show because it's 20 minutes for the show. Like, go get a Red Bull. You got to do what you got to do. And he did awesome. He did fantastic.
He ends up winning the show. He was like, I can't do this, guys. I'm out. We were like, what the fuck? We got 20 minutes before the show. All right, let's get to some TV and movie.
I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at myself because I missed
one thing
one of the
not
biggest
listed
things.
there. One thing you didn't show there.
Oh, I'm mad at it. Can I say what it is before you?
Samurai, goddammit.
Shogun. Not Samurai. Shogun.
Yeah, Shogun.
Phenomenal. The Game of Thrones of Japanese. I love it.
Shogun is worth every hour of watching.
3 episodes right now.
I gotta watch the third episode.
Phenomenal.
The first 2, phenomenal. That's all I'll say. Phenomenal. First 2. Get into it. Let's go, Matt.
All right, so listen, TV right now has been phenomenal. We had Avatar, we had Walking Dead, we have Shogun. TV's just been great. I honestly, the first 2 episodes of The Walking Dead, Those Who Live, are better than the last 3 seasons of The Walking Dead all in one.
Correct.
Phenomenal. The chemistry from the last episode last Sunday with Michonne, meeting that group and then catching up with Rick, gave you all the feels in 1 hour beyond belief. Shogun, if you like Game of Thrones and you have a larger than a pea brain and can read subtitles of Japanese culture, Shogun is phenomenal.
What was the qualification on that? What did you need to have?
Larger than a pea brain to read subtitles because 90% of it is in
I guess that's why I haven't watched it.
Can I
my man peed on him. He was like, "You dogs, I'll pee on you." And the dude was like, "What?
Can I add one to the list, but it's not comic book related?
Yeah,
none of these Shogun's not comic book related. It's
the Bear.
The Bear comes out. Season 3 comes out.
The Bear is fucking phenomenal. Like I am
that flashback episode of The Bear. Tell me that wasn't like some of the best like writing, acting, like directing you've ever seen, to all culminate with a car driving through the house.
Yep.
Like what?
100%. I am on board and I'm invested in everything.
You got The Bear season 3 and The
Cousin.
Boys season 3 coming out at the same time in June.
Cousin,
that's wild. Cousin, dude.
I haven't even watched season 2 of The Boys. I got to be honest with you. I got to watch Gen V and The Boys.
And the controversy TV. Go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry.
No. I just want to say one thing about The Bear. Despicable characters that you learn to love. Like you hate them at first, and then you like. I don't know. It's the culmination of good acting, and
that's how Shameless was. I think they got that from Shameless.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
The
I mean, the
same
character
actor,
crossover.
too.
I almost feel he's very Shameless like. He's a different character, but he has some of the Shameless aspects. But that guy who plays Cousin, like you didn't like him at the start, and his growth throughout that show, his transition to being a leader of the line like that was so phenomenal in that final like 1-2 episodes.
Yeah.
So where you are like, yo, I love this guy. Like he is so fucking awesome. The guy going to be like, and it's all because one guy believed in you. He's sending you to do this thing, like to learn. And this guy is waking up every morning at 5 a.m. hating him. He's like, you're trying to get rid of me. And he comes to realize what it all means. And it's beautiful, man.
Just watch The Bear. Like honestly, I'll send you like a login, and you could watch The Bear. Like it's that good. It's that fucking good.
Well, now we got to talk about a controversy. Go ahead. Oh,
hold on one sec, because there are 2 other shows on Hulu that I've never heard anyone else talk about. One of them is called Death and Other Details, and if you're like an Agatha Christie murder mystery sort of that vibe.
Wait, are you saying Murder She Wrote type older stuff? What? I'm sorry. I thought you were going with Murder She Wrote? Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Is it too late to put a hat on Sands?
Oh, the disrespect.
Anyway, Death and Other Details, absolutely tremendous. And then there's a show called Culprits, which is really, really good. So if you're looking for something off the wall,
never heard of these shows, Nola. What the hell? This is the state of all things. These things are not on the radar. Tell us more about these things.
You just told me they're not on the radar. Why would I tell you any more about them? I tried to tell you about Death and Other Details, and you immediately started mocking me for being old, like Angela Lansbury.
They sound like Murder She Wrote. You was like Murder She Wrote.
I didn't say Murder She Wrote. At no point did I say Murder She Wrote.
All right. I thought
here now.
That's what you were saying. I don't know.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Anyways, I like heist movies and I like murder mystery kind of things. Death and Other Details is like an Agatha Christie style murder mystery, and Culprits is a heist series. So both really good. Just something to look out for if you're tired of watching the same stuff.
Matt, why are you making that face, Matt? Come on.
If you're tired of watching the same things everybody else watches.
Listen, I have a finite window of putting up with Sands, and usually it's in 2-hour increments if we're not selling combos. I've literally been working with you now for the last 3.5 hours tonight, going on 4. The shit that I've gone through in the last 4 hours, I'll make any goddamn face that I want at this point.
Have another drink. Have another beer.
I'm empty. Everything's empty. My bucket's empty. This drink's
empty. So tell me
empty.
about the Avatar, you son of a bitch.
Do you like it? You didn't watch it. Shut the fuck up.
I think it's a 7.5 out of 10.
What was your favorite episode?
My favorite episode was not the Boomy episode.
The Boomy episode was horrible.
That was the worst episode.
They had to justify the character changes in a post.
my favorite episode would have to be when they meet Avatar Kyoshi and she takes over the spirit of and
so too.
And I also love Cole when they met Cole and the faces. That was a good episode, although it was kind of rushed.
They did the elements well. Compared to M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender bullshit and trying to take something that was fleshed out so well in a cartoon. Because I didn't watch the cartoon, so I'm coming in as a purist, and I wanted to go back and watch the cartoon afterwards.
That's
The
interesting.
opening segment where the Earthbender was running from the fire temple, it instantly engaged me. Instantly. That was such a good segment to start that show off with that I was invested.
So just to wrap up my thoughts on it, though, I thought there was some misses on casting, and I thought that there was too much of combining storylines and mishmashing stuff to get through the first season. Instead of just making it 10 or 12 episodes, they kind of like jam-packed it into 8. But when Azula was a complete miss for me. And also I didn't love Katara the way they had her play it. I felt like they could have had her do a better. I love the actress. I thought she did her thing. I just feel like they had her not shine as she should, like the comic. But Azula was a complete miss for me, and that whole thing, knowing that she is not the right casting, the actual assassin that they casted feels more like Azula to me than Azula. So,
Kyle, Nola.
I just sent something in the chat. It kind of takes it back a step, but check out Why Women Kill. I think that's a phenomenal. If you like murder mystery, that is like the quintessential. It has Lucy Liu. Just season 1 though. Season 2 is kind of iffy.
Lucy Liu is enough of a reason to watch anything, by the way.
Fair. With Avatar, I'm such a fucking lover of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I didn't realize that you haven't seen the animated series, Matt. It is, some of it doesn't hold up with time, but it is such a masterclass on character development and how like bad guys can transition into like favorable characters. I'm itching and clawing at more Avatar content, and this satiates that itch, and I love it.
I liked it
Granted,
better than
there's
One Piece. I heavily enjoyed it more than One Piece.
interesting. One Piece was
I think One Piece was better.
One Piece was definitely filmed during COVID, and you can tell by the absentee of like background actors and how the scope seems very one-dimensional in a sense. Like the scenes are kind of empty, if that makes any kind of sense to like
It does, yeah.
moviegoers and film goers. You can tell that there's like a transitional aspect of that. I just love Avatar. I just want more. It's more content. It literally just like
We're getting 2 more seasons. They signed season 2 and 3 have already been greenlit.
like when you
Well,
have
they
a
gotta make
craving.
Toph, man. She's got to come through, and she's got to be. If she's a hit, this show will be a hit for me.
Toph is my favorite character in Avatar.
Right, she's so many people's favorite character.
But Matt doesn't understand that because he hasn't watched the animated series.
I'm going back watching it now. Like I'm in season 1 of the cartoon now.
Okay, there's
multiple versions of it too. Like there's the Nickelodeon version. There's a bunch of other ones, like the different iterations of him.
How many episodes have you watched?
You don't need to see the Legend of Katara at all, or anything of. I mean, the Legend of Korra. Don't waste your time there.
Okay.
How many episodes are you?
4 or 5.
Okay,
so early.
What's your opinion of?
I think it translated well. I mean, I'm again seeing this TV series first and going back to the cartoon. It translated well.
Tell me Sokka doesn't look just like the goddamn character.
I agree.
Actor, he looks 100% like the.
But
the
Sokka was a bigot in the animated series. Like he was sexist.
He was everything.
Yeah, he developed into this character that you end up loving, and they toned it back in the live action. I'm not sure.
But they also downplayed Katara's feminism. They downplayed a lot of the character. Like they downplayed the love story between Katara and Aang. because they were like, we don't want to see children in love like that. So,
Fair. I mean, well, that's just a societal change in where things lie. So,
All right, for fairness of time, because again, we appreciate TV. TV's gone great.
yes.
Hey, one more thing about Airbender that none of y'all said. Dude, the
What's
costumes in that are fucking amazing. The costumes and the makeup are unreal. And that's my only exposure to the Airbender mythos. But every one I watched, I was like, holy shit, this just looks so good.
What's your opinion of fake fur versus real fur? Because they obviously used fake fur.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Okay. That's a whole nother genre of concept, but yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So talk to us, Maddie.
So movies.
Yes.
March is a big. What the fuck are you doing with these goddamn icons? I'm literally gonna punch you in the throat every time someone talks. It's like making my OC twitch out of my damn head. Like, God.
I literally posted in the chat. I was like,
I know he's been doing it all night. He's been killing me. March is huge for movies. We got Dune that came out this year. Obviously, a movie of the year contender.
Yes.
I don't know if everyone's had a chance to see it. I promise I won't do spoilers. I just have one question.
Yes.
Was it, in your eyes, should it be the highest rated film on IMDb in history, surpassing Shawshank Redemption?
Wait, Shawshank Redemption?
No, not Shawshank Redemption. No,
Shawshank Redemption was #1 highest rated movie in IMDb.
Dune there were a couple of flaws with Dune 2 that we won't get into spoilers. I absolutely loved it, but Shawshank Redemption was probably and still probably is one of my favorite. Like I could watch that even on TNT every time it comes on.
Shawshank Redemption and The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh my God!
Are my top two films of all time.
Albert, another classic, man.
Let me just go in there. I kill him. I shoot him. We take the money. We get out. It's over.
I love that.
Brother, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is one of those movies for me.
Green
with
Mile.
George Clooney.
Like
yeah, Green Mile. Green Mile's up there.
I didn't like the Green Mile as much. I thought it was.
Nah, me neither.
All right, so bring it back. What was the one thing you didn't like about Dune?
Did you see it yet?
I'm seeing it Sunday. Seeing it Sunday.
Non-spoiler.
Non-spoiler. The one thing I didn't like about Dune is the Elvis actor guy.
Austin.
I for a couple reasons. One, I don't know his true backstory. Like I feel like it just came out the blue. And when you have a Batista character who is bowing down to this guy, I just need to know more about why. What's the dynamic? Two, I felt like there's probably even scarier people. He played a good guy. He played it well. I felt like there could have been someone even better, or I probably need to know more about his backstory. So that's for me.
Pacing was for me. So it's a little over 2 hours and 45 minutes. Break it down into 3 acts. Act 1 I thought was phenomenal. I think they did a great job. It picked up right after 1. The mid act I think drone on forever, and then the last act was so rushed so quickly that it
last act was too short. I actually thought the middle part was great. I didn't like the beginning part. I thought the beginning part kind of took a longer time. So same thing.
Yeah, pacing was my biggest issue.
Yeah.
Nola.
Haven't seen it.
Okay, great. All right, so now we move on to Ghostbusters. And what else is coming? And Kong. Godzilla Kong. So there are next 2 big things in March. Which one is going to reign supreme out of the 2? We haven't gone to our Excel list in a while.
Godzilla has momentum, if anything.
So you're going Godzilla over Ghostbusters.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Kyle's Godzilla over Ghostbusters.
I'm gonna say Ghostbusters. They're bringing back the original Ghostbusters except for obviously what's his name who's passed, who was a ghost in the last one. But you got Dan Aykroyd, Winston, you got
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. They're all going to be involved in this, and Paul Rudd seems to be a great kind of fill-in. So I'm going to say, look, Kong versus Godzilla looks awesome too. I just don't feel you're going to get as much electricity as Ghostbusters, which is kind of, you're going to get all of those people from the 80s who wanted to see the original Ghostbusters come back.
You know
So
my love.
nostalgia's going to win.
You know my love for popcorn buckets. The Ghostbusters popcorn bucket is a proton trap.
Oh,
it's a proton trap where the beams come out and you put the popcorn in it.
Dude, how the hell do you know that already?
Can I be honest? I wanted the Barbie bucket.
Well, you didn't get it. Why didn't you get it? For amount of how much you loved Barbie.
I went to two different movie theaters trying to get it, and I couldn't get it.
All right, Nola. Ghostbusters or Kong?
First impulse is Godzilla and Kong. That's primarily because what Sands was just saying about trying to draw in the 80s crowd that enjoyed Ghostbusters. I hate those movies. I hate those generation gap movies that they're just trying to recreate something that can't be recreated.
Oh my God. Why do I ever fight you on the show?
I'll get behind that. Actually,
I really look, for everybody that gets upset about Disney pandering to some sort of woke sort of thing.
I don't have enough time to go down that road. It's already 11:26 over here. I have an hour to go over that road.
Neither am I. But what I'm saying is, for everyone that gets angry at that and then accepts them just foisting this crappy movie on you because it has the old people in it. Welcome to pandering, my friend. Welcome.
Those old people are funny, man.
When's the last time you saw any one of them in a movie?
Time out.
Bill Murray was just in Zombieland.
Hold on.
Dude, that was like 15 years ago.
Dan Aykroyd was in something.
I'm dying.
What? There's a reason why these guys aren't on screen anymore. They were funny.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
I had to break this up. You're killing me. My heart is literally falling out of my chest. Those old people. Where you are the one coming back with nostalgia about liking things that were old and appreciating where things came from and everything else. Ghostbusters is a staple. And you're going to say that bringing them back is a bad thing? Like, did you like the all-female Ghostbusters 3?
No.
Did you even see it?
Yes.
Okay, so you went and saw that, but you're not going to go back and see nostalgia with the original Ghostbusters cast. Again, the last one was actually phenomenally heart-touching where Egon died and they brought back his kids to tie in the story. And
I saw
the
that
original story.
I saw that one. It was pretty good.
Okay, so why are you throwing shade instantly at this one?
Because that wasn't the selling point of the last one.
It's not the selling point on this one either.
Sure it is. They're every commercial and preview I see for that movie has all of those guys and Annie Potts. And you barely even know that there's new people in it. You might as well just be watching 1985 Ghostbusters.
No, I just want to sock and bopper you so bad right now. I'm done.
I'm not saying it won't be good, but until I see it,
they gave my man Kong an infinity gauntlet to go fight another Kong, and you're going to tell me that that's more interesting than Ghostbusters?
Yes.
That arm does look good, don't it, Nola? You saw he got the robotic arm? Yo, it do look good.
My man
when Godzilla woke up with the pink Godzilla looks good.
My man pumps up like Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible before he's about to get in a fight.
Oh my god!
I got nothing. I mean I'm spent. You all crushed me tonight. I should have just left the show.
Well, no. Listen.
That never happens. That would have been interesting.
That never happens. But guys, it's been an amazing episode. We had some amazing guests. I want to thank Sean from the Comic Pals. I want to thank JB. He does his own thing. He's also on Lord of the Long Boxes. The voice of comics is what we call him. And thank this panel, man. You guys again coming together with some great content. Nola, that was a great segment. Kyle, great guests. Matt,
I couldn't have done it without Matt's graphics, by the way.
I was gonna say, man, Matt with the goddamn graphics, man, saving the day. The way, look, I gotta keep shouting out Blank Cover Battles because this goddamn guy, Matt, we had to pull in. We were supposed to have a celebrity guest judge, Ryan Brown, the artist, couldn't make it. We hadn't heard from him all week until tonight, and we were like, "What the hell?" So we called in Roscoe to the rescue. Awesome guest, great guest. But Matt takes the moment to put together a goddamn reel for Roscoe, man, in 20 minutes or less. So shout out to Last Level Comics, true heartbeat of the show, heartbeat of the channel, man. This again continues to be awesome stuff, man. That being said, Matt, go fuck yourself. Stop. Episode 1. What the hell? Who made these graphics?